Call police, open the door. Huh?
Officers make their presence known at an apartment in the 900 block of North Charles, to be greeted with screams for help, and eventually finding 57-year-old Anthony George, later lunging into a nearby room, grabbing 4-year-old Terrell Miller. A single gunshot, killing them both in an instant.
Anthony was intoxicated, and things went left. Like he told me, if I can't have you, nobody can.
And that's exactly how Terrell's mother, Kiana Miller, remembers it.
No justice, no peace.
Now a call to action. Miller, along with about 50 others, rallied in March for policy reform within the Macomb Police Department.
They could have did anything besides use their weapon. They had tasers, they had pepper spray.
And policy is what Police Chief Jeff Hamer says he's looking into with an internal investigation. In a July 24th interview, Hamer called it his priority.
I feel I'm 80 to 90% of the way there.
Tell me how that was police procedure.
What was their reason?
They said in the report that he acted within the guidelines for the use of deadly force.
Miller's attorney Marlena Suarez saying Officer Nick Gok, who Hamer confirmed as the shooter, should have used de-escalation and negotiation tactics.
He was a bright young man. He never did nothing wrong. He didn't deserve to get killed by the police.
Suarez claiming the case is far from over and that a civil lawsuit will be filed by the end of next week.
It may be the only alternative open to us at this point.
And in the meantime, Miller hopes change will stem from Hamer's internal look. But she isn't holding her breath. She remembers her son, who would have turned 5 about 2 weeks ago, as a ball of sunshine who was everyone's best friend.
You had a bad day and you looked at him, hey, I'm Terrell. How you doing? You know, he didn't have an enemy on this earth.
In Macomb, Dylan Smith, WGEM News.
Welcome back. Today marks exactly 1 year since a trip to the park turned into a near-death experience for one Quincy man. At the time, animal control officials said they hadn't seen anything like it in nearly 20 years.
WGEM's Dylan Smith takes us to South Park tonight, walking the same steps that 37-year-old Jared Welker walked before being attacked by loose dogs, an experience he says gave him a new outlook on life. Viewer discretion is advised.
Isn't this pretty? It is. This is why I do this, because it's so...
South Park is Quincy's taste of the outdoors. The perfect place to unwind, throw the ball around.
Kind of makes you forget you're in a town of 35, 40,000 people.
Yeah.
And simply enjoy the fresh air.
It was like any other day coming in here for a walk.
That's how Jared Welker still sees the park, exactly 1 year after being on death's front doorstep.
I've always lived in close to it too, so it's been convenient.
On March 17, 2024, Welker came to South Park, like he did several days a week at the time, walking the same route as always, going down the hill from the playground, across the creek.
At this point, you have no idea.
No idea.
And up the hill. But when he reached the top and looked back, he saw something he'd never seen before. 3 pit bulls that were reported missing earlier that day. Welker's instincts told him the dogs were going to attack him, so he made a run for it.
I'm on the ground and all my clothes are getting torn into.
Welker managed to get up and run back down the hill with the dogs snipping along the way.
Just to be honest, there really wasn't there was no break.
He fell going back across the creek, eventually reaching the grass on the other side. But at that point, Welker tells me he gave up, screaming for help.
A nearby resident called 911. When police found Welker, the 3 dogs were circling him.
You were eaten by dogs? Can you move? No. No? Are they your dogs? No.
And Welker was fighting for his life. The 36-year-old spent nearly a week at Blessing Hospital.
He was intubated at that point, so he was all just black and blue and swollen. And
Welker's friend David Camphouse saw on social media that someone was attacked at South Park, but didn't know who it was until a few days after.
I actually screenshotted it and sent it to him, and I said, it's a good thing you didn't go walking in South Park.
Welker was partially scalped, had a hematoma in his neck, rhabdomyolysis, and part of his ear was bitten off. Welker says he got out of intensive care at Blessing once his airway had recovered enough to have the ventilator taken out. He was left with a few months of physical therapy, plus his body was swollen and blue for a few weeks. His body still has scars that'll last him the rest of his life. From the start, Camphouse says Welker had a good attitude and believes that went a long way in his friend's recovery.
months.
The now 37-year-old still has the clothes he was wearing that day.
So all these stains are blood.
He says digging into the past time after time has helped the healing process.
So, yeah, that'd be my hair.
Everything from the torn t-shirt to the shredded underwear. Welker says he wouldn't trade the experience for anything.
How has this changed your life? Has it given you any kind of new outlook, perspective, or does it feel like a second chance? Or how has it changed your life?
Yeah, it's helped reshape my perspective on my life and the people's around me, and just how I view my life. It's just more precious now, mine and everyone else around me.
Welker still visits South Park and doesn't shy away from the chance to take his two sons.
Hello.
Not living in fear.
That's not how I live my life.
You know, yeah, a lot of people would maybe feel sorry for themselves after this had happened, but he really has taken this near-death experience, and he's got, I think, a stronger relationship with like his brothers, his family, his friends, and just doesn't take things for granted.
Well, up until this point, only students who have signed to play sports like football, basketball, baseball, even cheerleading have sat at this table. But today, that all changed in Southeast Iowa. Courtney Lovell became Keokuk's first ever esports signee. She hopes many others will follow in her footsteps.
Many don't consider esports to be a traditional sport, but it can provide the same thrill and opportunities.
I never really thought I'd get into it as much as I have, and I'm really happy that I did.
Keokuk senior and esports captain Courtney Lovell is living proof after committing to Grandview University Friday. She now has the title of first Lee County student to sign for collegiate esports under her belt after taking up competitive gaming less than 2 years ago.
You never really think about that growing up as like, I'll be the first one, and that's just like a crazy thought.
The first-gen college student is a part of a growing trend of gaming at the next level. According to the National Association of Collegiate Esports, millions of dollars in scholarships have been awarded over the last 5 years.
This is a reality, and it's treated very seriously.
Grandview's esports director Nathan Ragsdell says the process of signing an esports player is virtually the same as other sports. They scout, they get recruited, and they reach out.
The nice thing about esports is that being that it's all online, you can have them, try out for your team right then and there.
Ragsdell says today marks the 9th signing this school year.
Hey, are you moving back to Villager?
Lovell's coach Scott Gooding says the popularity of Keokuk's esports program in its 2 short years has held steady at 20 to 30 students.
Every positive of being part of a team still is active here. The social engagement, learning to interact with others, working together, being a part of like your school.
Gives me a fun thing to do after school, and it's something I enjoy, like playing video games.
Some colleges, including Grandview, offer scholarships that cover full tuition. Lovell hopes her commitment opens new doors to her teammates.
I feel like it's just become a club where you can come to be friends and just belong, and you have something to do.
Dylan Smith, WGEM News, Keokuk.